All right, we're live. It's Prop the Mic, PTM, sponsored by Props.cash. We got the semifinals of the in-season tournament in Vegas, ready to go tonight. How you feeling, Dave?
Excited. I've been enjoying this in-season tournament action. I kind of felt like last night was a bit of a downer. Like usually you get a giant slate like that and it's exciting, but I just felt like it was like, I don't know. It
That's what
was
I
just
said. Yeah. How do you come back from what we had the past the 2 nights before? It's a letdown.
it was just like a filler, right?
Yeah.
So anyway, the games like weren't that great. I don't know. The stars did come out, with the exception of probably Jokic, who had like the worst game of his career. I think the stars kind of came out firing. I um I texted Tom right before the one of the games. I said Luca's under is popping today. Like point guards versus Utah are a really good matchup. Like Utah hadn't allowed anybody to score over any point guard to score over 20 points. But you just do not fade Luca. So we passed on
Yeah.
that one, but that
Especially with
that was a
Kyrie.
good
Kyrie
choice.
was out too, right? You don't even if he was there, whatever. You don't fade Luca.
You don't fade Luca. That's a bad move. All right.
Yeah.
So we got two games tonight. I'm excited to talk about these. One of which is like a historic total. So let's jump into that one. Usually the West Coast game is usually the high scoring game, but
Yeah.
we got the Eastern Conference game being the high scoring game. So let's go into that one. We got the Pacers 11-8 on the season going up against the Bucks 15-6. Again, as we said last time we covered the Bucks. The Bucks are 10-1 at home. Now this is not technically a home game. They are the home team, but these games are taking place in Vegas. Bucks are -5.5 on the game, and the total is 254.5. 254.5. That's insane.
That is insane.
So
I
where
think I've
where does
seen
that
it even
come?
higher now.
It might have gone up since I
It's
wrote
up
this
to
down.
257 now, dude.
257. These two
That's
teams did
crazy.
play. They played earlier this season. The Pacers won 126-124. So what is that? 250 points scored in that game. So yeah, 257 points. It's got to be plenty of over opportunities in this game.
I would say so.
All right, what do you like from a matchup standpoint?
All right, points. Best matchups we can look at is Halliburton, Giannis, Middleton, and Buddy Hield, but he's a no-no for us. Rebounds, Giannis, Marshawn Beauchamp, and
Wow.
Aaron Naismith have the best rebounding matchups on the board here. And then assists, Halliburton, Buddy, and Bruce Brown seem to have the three best assist matchups on the board, all on the Pacers side, none on the Bucks side. So, which team you wanna start with here?
Let's go with the Bucks because you mentioned Beauchamp. He's a newcomer to the PTM show. So let's go with the Bucks. What do you like there?
Let's go with the Bucks. Okay, that 3.5 point line for Beauchamp is staring you in the face, isn't it?
Yeah, I didn't really have proper time to analyze it, but it does seem pretty low. I was looking at
Yeah,
yesterday. I was looking at Anthony Black. Right, he's on
yeah,
Orlando. Is that
Orlando.
right?
Yeah,
And his line was the lowest line of the day at 5.5. I was like, that looks pretty tempting. He put up
yeah,
a big game. So
yeah. He's
so
pretty
maybe
awesome.
Beauchamp will be the low line of today. But yeah, let's go. What do you like here?
All right, let's we're starting with the Bucks here. So I don't have much on the Bucks side other than I think Middleton's in a nice spot here, over 14.5 points, -120 on DK. You've seen his minutes really go up specifically over the last 6 games. You know, he's had his like I think 3 highest minutes played of this entire season over his last
Mm-hmm.
6 games. Yeah, you just look at that steady climb upwards. So they're ready to unleash Middleton here. He's also been great against Indiana, clearing in 3 straight games against the Pacers. I
Oh
think
wow.
by a yeah.
Yeah,
So nice
17,
matchup
16,
for
and
him.
19. Yep.
Yeah, and in that was all well, no, one was this season,
Hmm.
November 9th. He had 19 points. The other two, I think the minutes were probably fairly low in those games. So I can't see it
Yeah, he did.
there.
One of them, he only had 15
In
minutes.
15
So
minutes, yeah.
the other one
Oh,
was a lot,
32 in the other one.
32.
Yeah.
He's not playing 32 minutes tonight. I think at most he would play like 30. Even
Yeah.
that's probably a stretch. As important as this game is on paper, what's more important is that like they don't do anything to risk these guys for the rest of the season. So Middleton will still be on a minutes restriction, is my assumption.
Yeah, but I don't think he needs. I don't think he can still for sure get to 15 points in
Yeah.
under 30 minutes. Yeah, yeah. All right, so that's one. My only other play was a Giannis Halliburton parlay here. So if you got anything on, straight plays on the Bucks, let's hear them.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's hard to not play Giannis. When I wrote it down this morning, it was 32 and a half points, minus 135 on DK. DK was the only book that still had it at 32 and a half. That's since gone up to 34 and a half, which is crazy
Yeah,
for straight play. DK still has it at 33 and a half. So we'll look at that. Um, I mean, it's a lot. That's a lot of points. But again, this is a really high scoring projected game. He did put up when he went up against Indy last time. He put up 54 points. There was no Dame in that game, so obviously that's a big factor. But really, Dame, from watching the first round of the knockout, Dame kind of like gives the ball up to Giannis when he's out there. Like he
hmm,
plays second fiddle, and it's really only when Giannis kind of leaves the court does Dame start to really, become a primary scorer. So I think even the presence of Dame tonight won't really stop Giannis from going off. Um, it just stinks to have to pay, Juice for 33 and a half points, but
yeah,
I still think he's good for 35 points. The other angle that I liked on Giannis, I don't know what the odds are now, but again, this was this morning. Giannis top point scorer on FanDuel is minus 135 as well. So I think that's another nice way of playing this. I don't see Halliburton. Um, I mean, he could put up 40. Uh, certainly could.
he
What did he
could.
do last? Um, what did Halliburton have when they played? Yeah, he had 29 when they
29,
played.
29. Yeah,
Yeah, so I mean, it's a prime matchup. You're going to talk about that in a few minutes, but I don't see Dame putting up that type of number either. So I think Giannis at 33 and a half or top point scorer. Those are probably both good plays here.
yeah.
What
But
do you think?
Halliburton could definitely get to that 40. I mean, LaMelo got to 37 on them. Kyrie put up
Yeah,
39. Luca 35. There's been some big. We've been on this. Obviously, Jalen Brunson had a 45-point game. So they can do it.
that's
They
fair.
could do it.
That's fair.
Yeah.
Just play the 33 and a half then, or 32 and a half if you can find it there. There would be nothing worse than Giannis to put up like 42 points and you to lose this top point scorer bet because Halliburton put up 44. So we can't
Yeah.
endure that pain.
Yeah.
Um,
And if you're going for if you're paying juice on a point line this high, it's piquing my interest because this is something you would normally stay away from.
yeah, I mean he's just a beast. I mean
Yeah.
there's nobody like him. Um, and if he can actually hit his free throws, if you saw our post on X yesterday, if he could hit his free throws, his points would be even higher. Let's take a look at Malik Beasley as well. Beasley's just in a phenomenal spot here. If what I liked is if you look at his last four games, his point line is 13 and a half. I had it at earlier. Yeah, you could still get it on FanDuel for 13 and a half, whereas some of the other books have it as high as 14 and a half. So I think that's a good deal. He's hit that in five straight games. And the reason why he's hit that in so many straight games is really the field goal attempts. Um, so if we look at the field goal attempts, last five games 14, 11, 19, 11, and 11. So he's basically just chucking up a lot of field goals, basically not getting to the line at all. So it's mostly from the outside. Um, if in games where he's taken 10 or more field goal attempts on the Bucks, let's look at that. Right, this is this year he has cleared in every single game but one.
Mhm.
So that's 9 out of 10 games, and he's averaging 18.4 points in those games. In games where he's taken 7+3s, which is kind of what he's been chucking up lately, he's not 9 for 9, averaging 19 points. So I think this is a good matchup for him. Let's see how shooting guards have done. I think they've done pretty well against Indy. I think everybody's kind of done pretty well against Indy. Yeah, I mean, look, that's also what I saw earlier. Jalen Brown, 30, Derek White,
Mhm.
18, Richardson, 16, Robinson, 19, Richardson, 19. I love to see guys doing it twice in a row as well, right? Robinson
Yeah.
again, 16, Brogdon, 24. Those are all like pretty good comps.
Robinson's a nice comp because they're both. I mean, him and Beasley just rely completely on threes. That's where all their scoring comes from. So it's
Yeah.
also part of the reason that takes me off. I have a little bit of hesitation with guys like Beasley because they rely on such a high variance shot in the 3 point shot that, like, if it's not falling that day, you're screwed. So I think I think it's pretty good, and I do like seeing Duncan get there twice in a row pretty recently.
Yeah, Duncan got there twice in a row. Josh Richardson, all in the same games, right?
Yeah,
And even in the last game, two players on the Celtics did it. So I think that's a good play. I think defense is going to be optional tonight, and I think Beasley's just going to be wide open for a ton of shots as they try to stop Dame and Giannis. So
yeah,
those are my two plays on that side. Small lean. Uh, Again, just because the line is pretty low, I think campaign is also a pretty good value at 4.5 points. If you look at his last 3 games, 6 points, 18 points, 12 points. So same deal. When Lillard goes out, I think campaign's going to be in a pretty good spot to get a bucket and a three. So I think that's also
yeah.
probably pretty good play here.
All right, I like that.
All right, let's go to the Pacers side. What do you like over there?
First, I like to shout out Proptology on the live feed here. What's up, Mike? Nice to see you on. Um, let's go to the Pacers side. I like Bruce Brown over 2.5 assists, -145 on DK. He's cleared this in 11 of his last 14 games, averaging 3.3 assists per game. And he actually had his highest assist output of the season against Milwaukee on November 9th. That's 7 assists you see right there. Um,
Yeah.
with Tyrese Halliburton in the lineup, so nothing spectacularly different about that game. So I think this is a nice spot. He cleared. I think what did he have, 4 in the
Against
plane?
Boston, yeah. Hmm.
Yeah. So yeah, I like Bruce Brown over 2.5 assists.
And look at his minutes the last 2 games too. He's 36
Yeah,
minutes, 35 minutes. They're going to have to have defensive players out there to try to control this game a little bit. I think that's why Bruce
yeah,
Brown is getting so many minutes. So I expect him to be out there. He's also like probably the guy on the Pacers that has the best um, experience for a game like this, right? Coming off of
yeah,
a championship run with the Nuggets, I think his veteran leadership will be really needed in this playoff type game as well. So I think he'll get 35 minutes at least tonight. Um,
yeah,
so I also liked Bruce Brown. I was looking at the PRA for Bruce. Let's just take a look. I filtered up to the minutes. Look at 34 plus minutes, I said. Um, And if I'm going to have to redo it. 34 plus minutes and the PRA. Um, and I think we get 7 of 8 games where he's hit since he's been on yeah, his line earlier was 20 and a half. So here it's showing 21 and a half, but I still think it's a good deal. So look at the last 2 games. Pretty good numbers there. So Bruce
yeah,
Brown, 2.5 assists or 20 and a half PRA. Both good plays.
yeah. Speaking of guys, they'll need to have out on the floor for that are defense-minded players. I think that's why you saw Aaron Naismith play so many minutes in that quarterfinals game against Boston. So I like him here. Let's look at his points first. 10.5 points, -128. If you bring that filter up to like 27, 28 minutes, you're going to see some nice hit rates. I think at 27 minutes, he's cleared in 5 of his last 6. Yeah.
Yeah.
And you keep
Like
going. Seeing
not
that, how
even
many minutes?
close either, right? Like
Yeah,
just
yeah, blowing it
dominating
away.
some of these. Yep.
Yeah. So I think he's in a nice spot. I see. How many minutes did he play in that Boston game? Played 30, right?
He played 30, almost 31 minutes, and the game
Yeah,
before that he played 29 minutes.
yeah,
So that's good. I love to see consecutive games, just like with Bruce Brown, consecutive games of higher than normal minutes. It basically means that it
yeah,
wasn't just kind of like a foul out situation or something like that where they got extended minutes. I think he's good for 28 plus minutes tonight. So that's probably the right
yeah.
place to put the filter.
Yeah, and I think his rebounds are good too. So if you want to play, if but the rebounds at 3.5 are minus 160. So, if you wanted to, yeah, look at that. That's
Yeah, this is the
that's a pretty
points.
chart
Still,
there. Yeah, yeah,
yeah,
yeah,
all green if you get to 28 minutes.
yeah.
Yeah,
Beautiful.
I, I
Um,
I don't think it's a terrible strategy. Like, there's so many points that are going to be scored in this game. Milwaukee's point total is team total, at least earlier today, was 130 points, and Indiana was 124. So there's so many points that are going to be scored in this game. Some of these role players getting 10, 11, 12, 13 points, I think is a pretty good angle to take for
yeah,
this, right? Even if
for sure.
Halliburton and Giannis both put up 40, uh, there's still another
There's
80
still
points
plenty
to
to
go
go
around.
around. Yeah,
Yeah, exactly.
yeah.
So,
All
all
right.
right. Anything else in
Yep.
this one?
My only other play was I like a Giannis Halliburton 30-point parlay. It's plus 167 on FanDuel. Um, like we mentioned before, the previous game, Giannis had 54, Tyrese had 29. It's a little interesting on DK. You can't do this. At least you couldn't when I checked a little while ago. They're not letting you do these 30, 35, and 40-point bans on Halliburton for some reason. So that's a little interesting to me. I guess they're limiting their exposure to a monster game from Halliburton there.
Well, what about FanDuel? FanDuel, I'm sure.
Yeah, FanDuel is plus 167 for 30 points each.
Okay. Yeah, the only other angle I would take, I mean, I'm wondering what if you put Giannis 30 and Halliburton 25? That probably puts you somewhere around like minus 120 or something like that. So I think that's another angle if you want to be more conservative. But yeah, I think Halliburton's going to shoot a ton tonight. So
Yeah, it's minus 123 on FanDuel.
yeah, okay, all right, very good.
Yeah, but I think the question you were getting at, I think before was, does FanDuel have 35 plus and 40 plus for Halliburton? Is that what you were asking?
Yeah, I was curious. Yeah, they have a 45
Yeah, yeah.
plus
So they
for
do. So 35 is
Giannis.
plus 290. Yeah, and 40 plus for Halliburton's plus 700. So it is available on FanDuel, but not
Wow.
DK. Yeah,
Yeah, you could put Giannis at 45 and Halliburton at 40. That would probably get
yeah.
you something pretty good. So anyway,
Yes.
let's not get greedy. All right, what else? Anything else in this game?
You want to know what that is?
Yeah,
So
I
let's
kind of
just
do.
say plus 4,200. Giannis 45, Halliburton 40.
I
So
kind of like
anyway,
that.
that's all I got for this game.
Who's winning this game?
Who's winning this game? I think the Bucks.
Yeah.
I think the experience comes through in something like this. Giannis is just they don't have the guys to throw at Giannis. I don't think, right?
You don't think Miles Turner can slow down Giannis?
He's it's okay, but no.
I don't even know who.
As shown by the
And
54 points he put up 3 weeks ago, whenever it was.
yeah, Giannis is just gonna have a game. So,
Yeah.
all right, I think that's good. I think the Bucks win. I don't know if they'll blow them out though. I think it'll be somewhere around this 5.5 point total. But
Yeah.
the Pacers are the most fun team in the league, so I'll kind of be rooting for them to win.
Yeah.
They're moving
Agreed.
up on my ranks.
Yeah.
All right, let's talk about the night game. Not quite as exciting. You go from You go from a bunch of youth to a bunch of old guys. The Pelicans at the Lakers. Pelicans are 12-10, and the Lakers are 13-9. Lakers are 9-2 at home, so just like the Bucks. But again, this is like a semi-home game, being in Vegas. Although this one probably is more relevant to be a home game because of the proximity to Vegas from LA.
Yeah, there'll
Right.
be a ton of Lakers fans at the game. Yeah, for
So I
sure.
think that one probably is a little bit more of a home court advantage. But nevertheless, you don't have to convince people, especially people from New Orleans, to go up to Vegas, right?
Yeah,
They'll
it's true.
they'll go there for sure. Lakers are -1.5, and the total is 228.5 from earlier today. What do you like from a matchup standpoint here?
I think this total's creeping up as well. It's 231 now, so they're just expecting some monster
Yeah.
scoring outputs in these games. Yeah.
I mean, it just goes to
All right.
show you
Yeah.
I wasn't really looking at any of these games with the angle of an under, but I for sure there's going to be some great under spots as we get closer and closer to the game time. People are just going to continue to
Just
hammer the
betting it up
overs.
and betting it. Yeah.
So, so as these lines creep up, we're going to take a look as well, whether or not any of these props would be good unders as well. That's probably the smartest thing you can do tonight, but
Yeah.
not necessarily the most fun. So anyway, what do you like? What do you like matchup wise?
Points, we could look to Reeves, D'Lo, but not happening here. Joval, LeBron, and Zion have your best points scoring matchups. Rebounds, Dyson Daniels. I don't see any lines on him. Najee Marshall, same deal. AD, CJ, Ingram, and LeBron have your nice rebounding matchups. And assists, Ingram, Zion, Najee, AD, and LeBron. So a lot of LeBrons in there. I don't know if a LeBron PRA play is in the cards, but let's start with New Orleans. What do you
Yeah,
say?
go for it.
All right, I'm going back to Zion over 4.5 assists, -140 on DK. So it's gotten a little pricey there, but he's cleared this in 9 of his last 10 games. Right, you have it. It's at 5.5 there.
Yeah, everywhere
Um,
is now up to 5.5. I mean, you can obviously
all
you can
right,
alt it down. It'll probably be
yeah,
like -150, -160. But um,
yeah.
but yeah, you still like it at five and a
What?
half, or would you alt it down?
I don't not as much. No. Um, so I'd be a little more hesitant to play it at 5.5.
Okay.
What do you think about Zion scoring? He was really held in check in that previous game. His scoring matchups popping out a bit. I don't know. What are you thinking? Did you look
Yeah,
at
he's
that at
only
all?
played the Lakers once, I think, in the last year, and he had 27 points in that game. So obviously, you got to take that with a grain of salt because that was a different Lakers team. I want to see if Ingram even played in that game, so we can go to on props like cash and just put with Ingram. Yeah, Ingram didn't even play in that game. So yeah, I don't even think there's any relevant data to look at to say whether or not historically he's been good against the Lakers. Um, I think it's pretty good, right? 23.5 points. That's
I think so. I feel like it's a buy low. This is more of a lean. I didn't put a play in on him yet, but I'm just feeling like after that 10-point performance and Ingram going off you do have Ingram playing against his old team. I just feel like I don't know. I feel like this is a bounce back spot for Zion, but I don't know, more of a lean.
what kind of minutes did he play last game? That's something we should look at, right? That's a little concerning that he still seems to be on some type of minutes restriction, which is
Mhm.
understood, right? Like this guy has barely played in the 3 or 4 years that he's been in the league. So, if you look, Ingram played close to 37 minutes, I think, last game,
Yeah,
and Zion only played 27. So that's my only caution. It's just Zion's not really going to be pushed probably beyond 30 minutes too much. But he did play 35 minutes in this little stretch here. So I don't
yeah,
know. I think it's a good play on paper. Probably not my favorite play, but I think he'll get 24, 25 points tonight.
yeah. All right.
Um,
I
what
think
else you like?
this assists. I think Ingram assist is also nice here. 5.5. It was plus 106 on FanDuel. He's cleared in 5 of 6 games this season when he plays 36 plus minutes. He's also cleared in 8 of his last 10 games when he's on 2 days rest with some nice outputs like 8 and 7 assists when he's on 2 days rest. So I thought this was a nice spot at plus money as well. Yeah, look at that.
Yeah, that is
Eight,
nice.
9. So you did have CJ out for some of those, but this is going back to last season too. So
Yeah, I like that because I was actually on his RA. So if you look at his RA, and again, let's look at his playing time, as I was mentioning before. Sorry, he played 40 minutes in the last game. Um,
yeah.
so I just said let's be conservative. I think he played something like 37 minutes in the playoff game they had last year, but let's just be conservative and say he plays 37 minutes tonight, which I think is a no-brainer. I had his RA. It was at 10.5 earlier today. Yeah, you could still get it at 10.5. It's a little juicy now, -140. It was -130 earlier. 4 for 4 this year when he plays 37 plus minutes. If you go all the way back to last year, this is exciting, right?
Mm-hmm.
12 straight
Mm.
games hitting 10.5 RA. And the ones that he did miss were like 9 or 10. So I think this is a good spot, and I think it works nicely with your play. If you don't want to pay the juice, or you're afraid of 11 or 12 RA, you can always kind of break this down into its components and do like 5 assists and 5 rebounds or something like that. That's probably another way to get a plus money
Yeah.
version of this at a lower total count.
Yeah.
Good.
Nice.
All right. What else you got?
I like Trey Murphy here. I actually see we have since we're on Trey Murphy, we had a comment on YouTube here from Sean Deere saying, after what we saw with Cam Thomas yesterday, any concerns with Trey Murphy PRA? A lot of green recently on the charts and odds juice towards the over.
Yeah, we had Tori Doyle, our friend, also asking about Trey Murphy. So everybody's on Trey Murphy today. So that's the question. Everybody was on Cam yesterday, and he did nothing. So that's the concern. Is Trey Murphy kind of overhyped? And as people are speculating, is the league or the casino is going to come down and tell Trey to not score today, which is craziness, crazy talk. But forget all that. What do you think about Trey? His PR. Let's look at his PRA.
um,
Wow, that thing's moving up quickly. I think it was at, yeah, so you can still get it at 17.5. So what do you think?
what do I think? I was on his points. I don't love, finding out that it's a a popular play. Never a good sign for me. But seems pretty good. I liked his points though. 13.5 points. He's cleared in 15 straight games. He's cleared in 21 of his last 22 games. Going back to that, he's obviously only played 2 games this season, but he's a big part of their offense. They've been waiting for him to come back. One of the best kind of catch and shoot guys in the league. And twice last season, he played the Lakers and had scored 20 plus points against the Lakers twice last season. So, I mean, it's hard to deny all that green.
Yeah, yeah, I agree. And his minutes, the nice thing is his minutes jumped from 22 in his first game back up to 29. If you could see last year towards the end of the season, he was playing closer to 40 minutes a game almost. He was like out there almost the entire
Yeah,
game.
that's what I said. He's a big part of their offense. And now they're on 2 days rest. So, I see him playing 30 plus tonight easily. So,
Yeah. I mean, I'm trying to find a reason not to play this, but it does seem like it's a really good play. Um, I mean, I guess the PRA gives you the most flexibility, but the points do look pretty good. So, yeah, we'll back Trey, and we'll go down with the ship if everybody goes down tonight. But I don't see why you wouldn't play this one. You
I
got
don't know
got
why everyone's on the P. I would just take the points. I feel like he's not a big like that's what he does is score. Like he's out there for defense, and he's the 3 and D kind of guy, right? he's not. His rebound line's 2.5. His assist line is 0.5. So if it was me, I'd take the RA out of it, and I would just play his points because he's that's not his game. He's under 50 percentile in both rebounding and assists. So
Yeah,
to me, it seems like a straight point play is where I would go.
I agree. And I think on FanDuel, you got really good value right now at -122, where at DraftKings and BetMGM are -140 and -165. So if you are
Mm,
going to grab it on FanDuel. That's what I saw in a lot of these lines. FanDuel has the best value right now. So snag them there before FanDuel catches up. All right.
yeah.
So, yep, let's go. Let's go with the points, 13.5 points. Um, what about Herb? Herb Jones. I know that's your guy. Cashed on him
Yeah.
easily the other night with assists. You want to go back to 2.5 assists tonight?
I wasn't on it. You on? I don't know. I didn't land on Herb today, but he was all over the place in that game. They need him out there for his defense. He's guarding point guards. He's guarding centers. He just he could switch him on anyone. The guy is awesome defensively. So he'll play big minutes in this game, I would imagine.
Yeah, the only concern when I'm scrolling all the way, I think it's all the way at the bottom of the screen. Yeah, this is my concern with Jones is just fouls. Like that's the one thing that's
Mm,
going to stop him. He had 5 fouls last game. He still played
mm.
big minutes though. I think he was up at what do we have? 35 minutes, right? So 2 consecutive games at 35. I think he's going to be out there quite a bit. If we limit uh, his his time to 35 plus minutes on props.cash, you see really good hit rates, right? Let me look at that. Just in the last 10 games, he basically cleared. So I think the assists are nice. Could get that at -120 earlier. It looks like still available. I think the RA is also another angle you can go. That's at 6.5 RA. But let's go Herb, 2.5 assists. Let's run it back. Worked out well the other day.
All right, I like it. Yeah, for somebody who's going to be out there so much, he's going to find a way to get there. So that's all I had on the New Orleans side.
Okay. Yeah, that's all I had as well. Let's go over to the Lakers side. What do you like over there?
I actually only had one play on the Lakers, and it's I need your Duke expertise here because it's on Cam Reddish, over 7.5
Oof.
points, -120 on DK. He actually played the third most minutes on the Lakers after obviously AD and LeBron played 30 minutes in that previous game. His last 3 games against the Pelicans, 11, 11, and 13 points, averaging 25 minutes. He's cleared in 5 of 8 games this season when he plays 25 plus minutes, averaging 10.6 points per game, and 22 of 27 games since last season when he plays 25 plus minutes, averaging 13 points per game. So, any insight into Cam Reddish here?
You mean cardio Cam? He was out there doing a whole lot of nothing last game. 4 points, two
Yeah,
rebounds, and
cardio Cam,
cardio Cam. 4 points, 2 rebounds, 1 assist for a starter. I'm
30
laying off.
minutes.
I'm laying off Cam because I was on I was on Reeves, which we'll talk about in a minute, but I noticed that Cam Reddish was in the starting lineup. I think he started last game, right?
He did,
and
yeah.
uh and he's projected to start again tonight. So I don't think he's much. I think he's way too risky to play. I do see
Hmm.
his history, but I didn't check
You don't
like
think he
whether.
gets up to play against his former teammate and Zion there, and that's why he's like getting up for these games against New Orleans? Him and Zion got something going on. I don't know. I'm trying for something here.
I don't know. I mean, Cam Reddish should be a lot better than he is. He just like he's wait. We want to find players that like go out there and consistently do it. And I mean,
Yes,
he like
he's not a
he's had
model of consistency.
no. I mean, 19 minutes and 0 points 3 games ago. It's like
Yeah,
pass, my friend. I'm sorry.
I hear you. I hear you. All right, what do
All
you
right.
got?
let's talk about consistent 20 years of consistency. LeBron, let's go back to the RA that cashed the other night. Almost cashed without any rebounds. So it was 14 and a half the other night. This was our playoff favorite um, from last season, and it seems to be a good one for this season as well. Went from 14 and a half up to 15 and a half, minus 108. I still think it's a good value. LeBron played, we projected he was going to play big minutes. He did play pretty big minutes last game. I think he was almost at,
Played
yeah,
40 minutes, didn't he? Yeah.
He was at 40 minutes. So if you look at LeBron, with 40 minutes, it's actually surprising. He's played in 40 minutes twice this season, and if you go back to last season, he played quite a few games, 40 minutes. But what I loved was that last stretch of 6 games, 18, 19, 19, 19, 19, 19.
Yeah, all playoff. Those are all playoff games.
All playoff games. But who cares, right? Like tonight's a playoff game.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, this is
more
a playoff
about
game.
It's more about minutes, and I would love this at 14 and a half. So for some reason, it is at minus 108, which kind of indicates there's some movement towards the under. So if you do see it, sneak down to 14 and a half, snag that for sure. Because look at that hit streak at 40 minutes. He's basically done it every game except for one last year. But I still think 15 and a half is pretty good considering I just put up 19. So I think that's a good play. Another way you can approach this, like I was saying, for Ingram, if you want to cut up the RA into a parlay, you could do LeBron 7 rebounds, which he's hit in 14 out of these 15 games where he played 40 plus minutes. You can do 6 assists, which he's also hit in 14 out of these 15 games. And you can put that with 22 points, which he's had in every game, every one of these 15 games. Put those 3 together: 7 rebounds, 6 assists, 22 points, plus 105. So that's another way of kind of taking that. That's equivalent to a 13 RA, right? Which you're obviously taking risk because now you're requiring rebounds and assists to be a certain way, but it's 3 RA less than the line. So I think that's another nice way of doing it. And of course, the points add risk as well, but 22 points is, I think, pretty safe for him tonight when his line is like 28 and a half. I think it is. It's like very high. So
yeah.
So
I looked at another way. Go ahead.
No, that's it. Go ahead.
I think another way we played him also was just like parlaying the rebounds and assists together as well. I was looking at 8 rebounds, 6 assists, which is plus 101 on FanDuel. So another way, kind of leave the points out of it. Obviously, you were at 7, but I think 8 rebounds, 6 assists is also pretty good, and that's 14 RA. So
yeah, exactly.
That's nice.
So always consider that with the RA. If you don't like the total number, you can take some risk by turning it into a parlay, and usually you can turn it into a plus money parlay.
Yeah.
All right. Last one I got. I was super excited about this. Actually even had a write up that I was ready to fire away on X. Austin Reeves over, what was the stat we had? I started with rebounds, just looking at his rebounds. 3.5 rebounds, and then I kind of navigated to his PR because I thought the PR was better priced, and that's minus 18 and a half at minus 104. So there's a lot of red on here. So the question is like, why was I on this? What I loved was his home away split. So if you look at his away games this year, he's only hit this in 4 out of 11, and if you look at his home games, he's hit this in 9 out of 11 and 9 straight. So I was really excited about it. We had a little pre-show Tom and I did where we were talking through our picks a little bit, and I was telling him I was going to cover this one, and Tom was like, "Well, they're in Las Vegas today," so I forgot that little element. So the question to you and everybody is: do you consider this a Vegas a home game, being that it's in Vegas tonight?
I consider it a home game only because if it was a random neutral site, I wouldn't consider it a home game. But because everyone will be going from LA to Vegas, it's going to feel like the New Orleans Pelicans don't have a lot of fans. So I know you mentioned earlier about traveling to Vegas. Like, they're not going to get people going from New Orleans to Vegas for this thing. It's going to be a handful of people. You're going to get tons of Lakers fans at this game, whether they already live in Vegas or they're taking the 4-hour ride from LA to Vegas. It's going to be packed. It's going to feel like a Lakers home game for sure.
Why are you not
So
going to the game?
that's a good question.
You should, you
That
should,
is a
you
good
should,
question.
you should be jumping off this pod as soon as possible and
Hop in the car and
getting
go.
in the car.
Yeah.
So let me just throw another. So I do like the play. The other reason why I like the play is just if you look at the PR for the PR for some recent shooting guards. So I liked a couple of these guys, right? There's a lot of red X's on here, but I did like Malik Monk put up 24, Kobe White put up 40, DeAnthony Melton put up 20, and Keontae George twice against the Lakers put up 24 and 21. So I think those are all pretty good comps for Reeves.
Yeah.
So either plays 3.5 rebounds or 18.5 PR. I'm going with the PR just because it's priced a little bit better.
Yeah, he was actually I think I read him off first in the matchups. He was looking like the best scoring matchup on the board today. So yeah, I think that's a nice spot for Reeves.
All right, very good. We got any other questions or anything else to cover?
No, I think that's everything. Light on the questions today, but it's all good. Remember, if you like what you've seen over here with all these green bars, head over to props.cash. We couldn't do what we do without them. Obviously, you see that. So use code PTM at sign up for 25% off. I think we'll get a couple of these up on X that we really like, and really looking forward to these 2 games tonight. We got the early start for the first one, so enjoy. And it's got like a playoff feel. So where are we? Yeah, we'll get a couple of these up on X, and let's all make some money tonight.